Yeah, YouTube family, the Maverick in the space again. Still the best and most credible opinion. Still fair and fearless analysis. Check in, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and drop a comment in the comment section. You know, so the Maverick bump up in a little conversation online the other day. The Olympic bronze medalist over the 100 meters, Big Fred Kurley. So you know a podcast with Justin Gatlin and the other brethren have where them talk about matters track and field. They will talk about the interesting topic and the topic that is so relevant to Jamaica, the issue of child prodigies and why a lot of them don't make the matriculation from child stars to great senior professional stars. And we think based on the amount of discussion where we have about this particular issue in Jamaica, because we think because of the advent of champs, you know, we feel pound for pound, we probably produce more child prodigies than even the great United States of America, you know. Because of that champs, there's nothing of the equivalent of champs in America, you know. Champs are the biggest high school track and field event in the world, you know. We put youngsters under the kind of scrutiny and pressure and hold them to a high level of expectation. No other event or institution in the world like champs at the high school level. Now, Fred Kurley opposite, obviously, they may not talk about the little youth named Quincy Wilson. He was 16 years old. He run for the relay in the first round of the 4x4. And run a bad leg, he got decimated. So, the discussion with Kurley and Gatlin and company, Kurley say, watch out. Him not think it is proper or desirable. I not quote him, you know. But he was saying that youngsters at that age not supposed to run so fast, so early. He basically said when you're 16 years old, you still develop physically and psychologically, and you ought to be competing against your peers. He basically said 16-year-olds like Quincy Wilson don't have no business and run against full-grown senior professionals who put in the requisite background work, you know, gradual matriculation to where them there. He not think 16-year-olds should have compete against them kind of athlete. You know, he must say like, them need to go through more gradual development. And when them get to that stage, them ready to compete at that level consistently. But before that, them have business up there. So. And him have a point, you know. We think him have a point. Especially as it relates to the physical and especially the psychological preparation and the stage of your life where you reach physically and psychologically. If you cope with not just if you go up on the track and run, you know. But in terms of coping with the ups and downs of that particular profession, Fred Kurley mentioned the travel. He mentioned, you know, your capacity to cope with the disappointment of losing. The capacity to cope with the disappointment of falling below expectations. I think it was a very, very worthwhile and credible discussion. You know, you see Fred Kurley run on the track, you kind of, you know, he really has said some profound things. I remember we have this thing in Jamaica, you know. As me say, we produce probably pound for pound more child prodigies in a track and field than America, you know. And we always have baffle and a lick for we head against the wall and I find out why so much of our big star athlete them at the champs level cannot matriculate into big senior superstars who earn millions of dollars like some of them. And we always wonder why. But maybe, even what we're doing with them at champs, it is too much for them at that stage of them life. Now, remember, you know, champs not just turn the spotlight for the class 1 athlete, them who are 18 and 19, you know. From your class 4, you're there champs, you know. You're there on the prime time sports at night time. If you win a gold medal, you're there on the front page of all of the daily newspaper them. You now have a name that everybody in Jamaica and the diaspora know. And the level of expectations shoot up immediately. You run and win that race of a champs, you know. So it's a whole heap, as Fred Kurley said, it's a whole heap of psychological pressure come down upon a youth at 14, 13, 15, 16, when they're not ready for cope for. And that is why so many of them, by the time them get to 20, 21, 22, them look like them done. Because they have been so damaged by that psychological you know, the battles they had to try to maneuver through. And of course, not to mention the physical, but thing where they must stretch themselves too much, too young. So you find that them don't leave any room for improvement. So them basically burn out themselves from them too young. The Quincy Wills, when we are talking about as a 16-year-old, you know, he must still 16, you know. He be on 44-2 already. 16-year-old, you know. Now, based on what Fred Kurley has said now, and how the whole reason have come together, maybe a youth like Quincy, because Quincy Wills not time between the decision to go pro as a 16-year-old, you know, and to go run a college, you know. Imagine, a 16-year-old, I know, high school we are saying to go back, you know. He might time between going to college and going pro. So you see how far that leap is. But how do you tell a 16-year-old though, who are on 44-2, say don't go sign that big contract there with Adidas or Nike? Because remember, say most of them youth come from poor conditions, you know, poor circumstances, you know. Or you tell a youth like that now, when this is a golden opportunity, he might decide, say, I'm going to go college or I'm going to wait 2 more years and him get an injury and him can't run again. And that is it, opportunity lost, never to be regained, you know. So how do you reconcile all our Fred Kurley has said, all of the common sense in our Fred Kurley has said, against the reality now, where this is a poor youth from a poor community. Him have some talent. And because him talent, it's a prodigious. Him show the promise from him at 16. Big shoe company are come with contracts and sign this, sign this, sign this. Why do you going to see a big check with 3 and 4 and 5, 6, 0 behind it? And because you claim say you're not ready, you not take it. In this day and age, you see the dilemma we face though. Interesting perspective from Fred Kurley still. The man was basically dismissive of some of these upstarts at 14 and 15 and 16 when claim they don't fully developed yet and they're not ready to be compete consistently at this level. They might run a one race and win, you know. But what Kurley has said, they're not ready to compete consistently at this level. In other words, allow the kids to grow up as kids. What do I say? So not solid argument, reasonable argument. We're thinking about, especially in Jamaica, the top pound for pound producers of track athletes in the entire world. I'm not going to sprint off on one, I'm going to step off. But we can't just step off. We don't sprint off, or long jump off, or high jump off, or even 110 hurdles off. We just a step off. Step it. Watch out, man. Watch it step, man. Faster than Fred Kurley when we are stepping up. Step in. Step in, Maverick. Step in. See that? Oh, boy.